Everything's doing the whirly durly. And yes, I'm live. Welcome, everybody. Yeah. Whew, another beautiful day in paradise. Uh, it's above, well, it's not above zero yet. It's still -8, but still, it's better than -20 something. That's for sure. So, welcome every day. Welcome, everybody. Welcome every day to my live. My name's Mary June Tracy, and I'm here to enlighten the spiritual ones, enlighten us all. At least I hope I'm trying to enlighten you all. Enlighten myself, you know, get as much enlightening as I can. So, you know, we'll see. So what's happening? What's happening? So yeah, well, I'm off today, which is great. I was so exhausted yesterday. I don't know if you guys felt it. I don't know if you felt my exhaustion, but I sure did. Um, it it just I think what happens is that when I work a streak of, let's say, 6 days or something like that, or um for me, and being in the mall, it just like I feel like my um energy just gets zapped, right? And with my energy getting I just it just really I'm exhausted, right? So last night I've been for the last few months I'm doing a new meditation, and I just love it. And it's called japa, and japa meditation is a meditation that works with the sound of ah, and it's having you go into the gap. And I'm doing it, there's a Dr. Wayne Dyer meditation, and I've been doing it for a week now. You're supposed to do the meditation for 30 days. So I've been doing it. Let me just, because I write things down for. No, I've been doing it for a week. I know that. Da, 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 da. I gotta do this, right? Okay, day 2, day 4. Oh my god. I gotta watch how I skip the pages here. Day 2. It's day 2 of Advent. So 28, 29, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4. Today's day 4. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today will be day 8. So I have been doing it. So I'm going to write that down. Day 8 of meditation. And this meditation, bear with me, with my brain. This meditation, what it helps to do is, so I'm with Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it's the first line of the Our Father. So, and doing the visualization of each word, then going back in between each word is going back into the gap. And into that gap is where the connection of God is. And in that middle of the gap, in that stillness, of finding peace, it helps to clear your thoughts, it helps to clear your mind, and you do the word ah, just ah, and that brings up, what it is that you are wanting to create, what you are wanting to manifest, what is that what you are wanting to step forward in your life to do. So far, it's just given me a lot of peace, finding that peace, finding that stillness, and connecting with the silence. And what I, looking at the astrology also today, it's like that's all like, with the opposition to Jupiter and Mercury, and Mercury going doing the squares over. I mean, that's really looking at what is that stillness you want in your life? What is that peace? What is that connection that you want? Things are really slowing down, and especially with Mars. Mars is going to be going retrograde in Leo. And this is where, Mars in Leo wants to have fun. It wants to be, it's like the little baby lion cub going out there and having fun, and running around, and being very playful. But as it slows down, it can get where, yeah, I want to have fun. I want to do this and I want to do that. But you can get a little bit muddled with your thoughts and get a little bit all over the place. And one of the things is doing the japa. Plus, I've been doing my rosary. I do the rosary now. I did a 30-day session, which like I'm no word of a lie. 30 days of doing the rosary every day. It it cleared my brain. It was like whoosh. And it wasn't even like I wasn't even thinking about it till I was because I've tracked everything, from my accident. So, different things that happen, how I'm feeling and things like that. And I've noticed that oh, well, I'm not so foggy anymore. I am not so, things are clearer and I don't feel so blah. Yes, I get tired and exhausted. And well, I work with the public every day and it's been, and it's Christmas time. So, retail, yeah, retail's exhausting. Retail takes a lot. We have in our store, we have a little diffuser, and they sent us they did send us some oils to put in the diffuser, but they sent fragrance oils. Never use fragrance oils in a diffuser. You have to use pure essential oils in a diffuser, otherwise it clogs up. So anyway, so we got real pure essential oils. So we've been putting these pure essential oils into our diffuser, and what we find is like it's helping us not to feel so exhausted and take on everybody's crazy energy. It really helps to clear the energies, right? And so this is very important, of the things, to look at. Anyways, going back to doing the rosary. Now I know a lot of you aren't Catholic. You may not know what the rosary is. It's praying with beads. It's a prayer. It's a prayers with beads, and it is one that I think it's not. You don't have to be Catholic to do it. It's one that helps to connect with the Divine Mother Mary and go into the Sacred Heart of Mary. And for me, that devotion to the divine, that devotion to Mother Mary has always been a strong one, has always been a calling. And it in doing it, just going back, in doing that, bringing in the clearing. Now, the japa meditation came to me when I was looking at something and doing some studying, and it popped up. And it said, well, they did the japa meditation. And then the book of intention that I'm reading with Dr. Wayne Dyer, he started talking about it. And I thought, okay, let me try this. And so I've been doing it for 8 days, and it's just bringing in the calm. And as I look at how things are unveiling in the world and things are going crazy, like yesterday, South Korea, martial law, riots happen. All of a sudden, they go to parliament, no martial law. And it's like, wow, like this is getting really crazy. One moment, Biden says he's doing something, next moment, he's doing something else. One moment, now, it's like, oh, Trump is saying that he wants us to be the 51st state. Like, it's not gonna happen, just an FYI. But like, oh, look at over this, look at over that, look at over this. Like it's like whiplash, like we're being swayed all over the place with everything that's coming in. And the preparedness that is happening within the world are preparing us for, you know, the unfolding of the changes that are coming forward in our world. And this is where, in doing the different meditations and bringing that solely into your world, is helping to ground. It's helping to give you a better perspective of things, of how your world is. And this is where we're aiming, and especially with how the astrology is, this is aiming for what takes you out of your spiritual self. What's taking you out? It's good to know and understand and have a perspective and to be the observer, but it's when you get involved and when you start taking the sides of like, oh, what about this and what about that, then that takes you out of your spiritual self. When you are deciding only I can fix this problem, then you're taking yourself out of your spiritual self. When you think that that person and that person can help me, then you're taking yourself out of your spiritual self. The thing is that when you are coming back in and coming to that place of happiness, because happiness isn't outside of you. Happiness is within you. You are your own happiness generator. But everybody wants the happiness out there, right? So, the retail, um, where retail is going to make me happy. There's a place, it's really, really trendy, and I just laugh because I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And it's called Moose Knuckles. Moose Knuckles is a very, 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 very high-end clothing store, and they sell winter clothing. Like they're supposed to be extremely good, very good, but they actually have a security guard, like a real security guard with a little taser and everything, not just one of those guys that walk around and says security guard. No, this is a real security guard. And they only allow so many people into the store at one time. Their coats are probably outrageously priced. They're these little puff, but their logo are these like two little, like two, looks like two little teardrops with little drops inside. And I'm just like, I walked by there and I'm just like, Moose Knuckles. Like, why are these people what's so, I guess because it's trendy, it's I don't know all about it. All I know is that all of the rich and famous, and I'm just like, wow, people are lining up for Moose Knuckles. And I'm like, that looks like moose balls to me, man. And that's their logo. Their logo are moose balls hanging down. And I'm like, who the hell? Like why would you want to wear that? Now you see the mentality of people, right? I need that. That's going to give me that satisfaction. I'm going to have these moose balls on my coat and I'm going to be trendy. And I'm like, no. Like, taking you out of your spiritual self. Now, if you are able to afford it and you want it, God bless you. But I'm just saying, this is where people have to start really thinking, right? Am I getting this? Because this is like something I really like. Like some people, like I would love a Land Rover. Out of all the vehicles, that's my favorite vehicle, right? It's always been a Land Rover. You can ask Stephen will tell you, yeah, she's always wanted a Land Rover. I love Land Rovers. I don't know why. I just love Land Rovers. But if I ever got, I mean, yeah, but it's not something I'm going to um make myself go into debt for. It's not something I'm going to um take myself out of my spiritual alignment to do. And that's what happens, is that people take themselves out of their spiritual alignment to do it. And my breakfast is here. Look at this. Okay. All right. So this is where we have to look at how we are finding peace, because we have this energy that's coming in that we are wanting to come out of our alignment. We are out searching, but we are at the beginning of the end. We are in this concept time. And the concept time is where you might not know exactly what it is that you are wanting to create, what it is that you are wanting to do. It is a concept, right? So, and it was explained to me, this is how the Leo King explained it about the concept. He goes about cars, because before a car is actually on the lot, it's a concept, right? So they take it out, they try different things. Does this work? Does this not work? And that's where we are at. We are at this concept. And we were trying, does this really work for me? Is this where my alignment is? You know, when somebody said to me, goes, oh, well, why don't you try the japa, meditation? It's like, does that work for me? Does that feel right? Well, yeah, it's making me feel good. It's helping me feeling more in the stillness, and it's helping me to get clarity and bring forth that clarity. So this is where we are learning to restrain, looking at the conscious choices that we are making, right? What are those conscious choices? And if you want the moose knuckles, go and get the moose knuckles. And nothing, no, I just think it's funny. But this is where it's like your value, like too much, are you emphasizing too much value onto that, right? Is that what is that where you are putting that energy? If you are valuing it, and this is also where I talked about yesterday about the shamanic energy that's coming in, the portal that we are going through for transformation of change is looking at the hard facts from our past and things that we don't want to look at. And it doesn't matter what fucking age you're at. We all have shit in our it's not like you turn a wonderful age and you're like, "I have no more shit in my closet. Everything in my life is rosy." There are things that you could go back and you could be 80 years old and you're still holding a grudge of your brother who did something to you when you were 5, right? Or that kid that mouthed you off in the middle of the park or whatever. You're holding on to that. That grudge has grown to where you are now. How are you releasing it? Does it matter, right? So this is where, these new concepts are coming in, these new ideas. Some will stick, some won't stick. People will have a concept, well, this is what I want to do. I have a desire to be the next Lush. I want to create the best bath bombs and whatever. Great concept. But maybe that concept leads you to something else to leads you to something else. So when you're putting this has to be, this has to work. This is what I have to have, and it has to look this way. Well, maybe it's leading you to something else. Maybe it's opening you up to something else and getting you to realize of something from your past that you are trying to fix through this newness, through this lush bath bomb that you're trying to create. That's my example. So what is it? What is that concept within your life? And the events in this world are so triggering, and this newness that is coming in isn't defined. There's no definition to it. And that's the whole thing. Is like, especially with Pluto in Aquarius, they want a definition to it. They want to have, what does it look like? What does this new world look like? There is no definition. It's a concept. Some things will stick and some things won't. This is a new definition. This is a new beginning. And who you were in the old story is the old story. The page is turning, right? We're moving past what has happened in the past. We're moving past. We're moving forward, right? So this is going into some of those hard lessons in order for you to move forward. This is unpacking that great big freight train and saying, "Holy shit, I haven't even started on the first one, or I'm just in the middle of it, or this is where we start to look at the new concepts. So we're going into these lessons, and especially with Saturn and Pisces, is getting us to look at these lessons so that we can go forward and step more deeply within our spiritual self, within our spiritual alignment of what we are being called to do. And sometimes that is so hard because we don't want to, or we think that we are going to be laughed at, we are going to be condemned, or whatever it is. Because right now, people are getting arrested or threatened because of what they wrote on their Facebook page in the UK. People are getting where you can't say things because you might offend somebody. There people sat in like this. I would have just, anyways. People during a mass, and I think I mentioned it yesterday, marched in. They weren't even part of that church. How dare they? How dare they? How dare you walk into somebody's ritual, somebody's prayer time, and force your thoughts, your ideas upon them and say, "Look at this. This is," and trying to make you feel guilty. How dare they? And that's the whole thing. It's like, this is where, things will try and pull you out of your spirituality, where, they do not know what they do, right? And this is like, even when I'm thinking of there was a dance, I think was it the dance of the ghost warriors? That was it was in the United States, and it was a dance of the ghost warriors, I think it was called. And it was condemned. They didn't want them doing it, right? Because they're very fearful of it, and if they did, they'd break it up. And I'm just thinking like how, this is part of their ritual. This is part of their connection with the warriors from the past and asking them for the strength and courage to go forward. And, coming in and saying, you can't do that anymore. Well, the same thing's happening now where you can't pray. You can't do this anymore. This is where if you think that you're pagan and you're going to have a circle where somebody can come in and say, no, you can't do that anymore. You can't have your circle. So these new concepts are coming in and they're trying to break us away, trying to break away from our spirituality, trying to break us away from our own truth of what we really know that brings in that peace and that stillness. It's a good thing when it's not telling you to do something bad upon somebody else. And one of the things that, um, and this is the other thing that I've noticed too. I know I'm going off in so many angles and things is that I am not to me, Christmas is pretty. Christmas is pretty. Christmas is fairies and twinkle lights and beautifulness and Santa and the nativity scene. That's what Christmas is to me. When I see people trying to make Christmas look dark and black and bring in pictures that I think are looking evil, like I don't like that. I don't even have those types of pictures in my house. Even when I looked into witchcraft and stuff like that and paganism, that's one of the things, and it could probably was my Christian upbringing as well. I don't like that shit. I don't. I I find that when people are trying to add a darkness to something that is wanting to bring in light, I think that that is where, and they say that, oh, well, this does no harm. It's amazing how much harm it actually does, because it is a way of bringing you away from your own spiritual self and your spiritual alignment to God. And those are the other things that where people think that it's not harmful. It's amazing how harmful it is and how much it takes you away. It's interesting. It's like I don't watch any like horror movies or any like, The Omen or stuff. I've never watched any of those things. And plus I also know a lot of the history of what happened to the cast members and different people who've worked on those types of things, right? So, when I see these types of movies and I'm just like, "Oh, you guys are playing with shit you don't know." You're getting out of that alignment, and when you're getting out of that alignment, it's going to cause havoc within your life, and in some ways that you can't even control. And right now, where we are at in this not so defined time, in this new beginning that is starting, we need to look at what we have to move past from those grudges, those things that hold us and saying it has to be this way, it has to look this way. I have to have a Land Rover, my life is over. Looking at those things and saying that, you know what? I don't need those things. I don't need to sacrifice myself for those things. We're seeing evidence all around us of people who have, and it might look glorious and it might look wondrous. But at the end of the day, the truth is your happiness. The truth is your bliss and the stillness. And our beliefs and our understandings are coming into check. And with that, we have to narrow it down to what alignment that brings me to my wholeness, what alignment brings me to my stillness and my peace. And sometimes it's a little glimmer here and there. It's not a constant thing because we're human. We're having this journey in this 3D world that flings things at us that sometimes get us angry, mad, frustrated, confused. But when we can come back and give it up to the Holy Spirit and ask for inner peace and a miracle, when we can come back and say, I'm going to, you know what? God's pool is bigger than my pool. I'm going to ask for his help. I'm going to have him lead the way, and I'm going to step into the sacredness and the sacred heart of the Divine Mother or of Jesus, however you want to look at it. And sometimes that really pisses people off when you say that. And this is, I'm going to just leave this as a word of thought. Why are people so afraid of the word Jesus when you mention it? It's funny, and I've noticed that lately. Why are people afraid of that word? Think about it. And think about that in your own life and what that means or what that word, that concept is, right? Because sometimes it causes anxiety and fear in people. Other people, it's like joy and love. Other people bring in a fundamentalness of it. This is what it has to mean, right? So for you in your own life, when you look at it, how is that concept? It's a concept in your life. And I challenge you to look at it, right? And how you would like to develop it or not develop it within your life. It's an interesting road to go down. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to eat my breakfast. I'm not going to pull a card because I'm going to eat my breakfast. I'm going to send you out with loads of love and laughter and happiness into your life. And my readings are on 50% off. They're on sale until December 21st, and they have to be used by the spring equinox, which is March 21st, 2025. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye, everybody, and we will talk to you later. Bye-bye. See ya.